question is, for all developing economies, they must have some sites in the field of agriculture, in the field of industry, in the field of economic growth. They must have some parameters on which they can work. Social sectors, infant mortality, maternal mortality, education, how many children are going in the schools, what is the quality of education, all these is necessary. So 5-year plan was a method by which we used to have, in a medium-term perspective, how much we are going to achieve. See, in any plan, if you make on an annual basis, it is very difficult to say that you are going to achieve it annually, because many of these things are not achievable. It was necessary that we should have a reasonable time period. 5-year plan was an sort of follow-up from the Soviet era. The Chinese follow this in their, the Soviets called it the Gauss plan. The Chinese have their own method of planning. Whether India should have a medium-term perspective or not, it was, I thought it was a good method by which we used to measure our growth and perspective. We are going to miss it because in any case, if you don't have a 5-year, you would have to have a 3-year plan or a 7-year plan or a 10-year plan. I understand the present government is thinking of having a 3 or a 7 or 10. I keep reading reports. There's nothing very clear. Nothing has come out in the public domain, any document or any preparation. Developed economies don't need it because a lot of their investments is done by the private sector. They have already reached a certain level of growth where their infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rates are all very, very low. So on social sectors, they are doing all right. On education, their institutions are doing fine. Word plan by itself is not a dirty word. It is important in all economies. The question is that since it was associated with the Soviet era, and the Soviet era finished, people thought that this was an anachronism. I don't think so that it was an anachronism in that sense, and people are going to miss it. What is the difference between a vision document and a plan? A plan is more firm. A vision document is a vision. I think that a developing economy could do away with such phrases like a vision document or this, because a vision document, if in case you have a 20-year vision, I agree. But if a 3-year vision, if you have, I think you are really sort of taking your country for a ride. Because in a 3-year, if you are going to have a vision, it is like saying that my son is going to school and I have a vision that in the next 3 years he will pass. Well, if you have a vision that my son is going to school and he will become the chairman of a company, that's a vision. But if you say that he'll pass in 3 years and that's a vision, I think that you're fooling yourself. So if it's a 3-year vision document, I think it's an absurd phrase. A vision document, in case you just have change the phrase, and yet you are having firm targets, and then that is understandable. But if you have targets which are more in the visionary, in the sense that they are vision and may not be achieved, and more in the nature of sort of tom-tomming that what you are going to do, I think that's not a very good thing. That's not really telling the people what it really is. You must tell the people that the next 3 years, this is what we are going to achieve, and really work for it and ensure that it's an achievement. I agree that a lot of these targets should be slightly above the effort level. many of these people keep very low targets. I'm not in favor of that. They should keep a target which is achievable plus slightly more, so that the effort is to that extent slightly extra in nature. But to have 2022, 2023 targets and to bring it to 2019 and hope that they will be achieved and not have any document planned for it, I think that's not a really reasonable thing to do. And that's not really telling the people the truth. To see what the vision document is before one can comment on that. Since it hasn't come out in the public domain, it is very difficult to comment on that. So far it's only a phrase. Once it is available in concrete terms, one will see that what is the nature of the development efforts which they are put in there, and if it's reasonable effort, then it's a good thing. But if it is purely visionary in nature, and there's no way they are going to achieve it, I think then it'll be just a piece of paper.